Welcome back to another Heather Mac Reacts. Today we're going through some Am I the A-Hole stories. And if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe because I post 5 times a week, every single week. And if you are ready, I am ready. Let's get into this first Am I the A-Hole story. This said, would I be the A-Hole if I tell off my husband's family? Girl, I've been there and I kept it in. Looks like this first line clears up a lot about if and when the telling off of the husband's family would have to be. So y'all, let's jump right in. My husband died of cancer almost 5 months ago. He was diagnosed July before last and passed in April of this year. It's been a very hard year. He was 44. He was estranged from his family most of his adult life, but got in touch last January after we discussed what to do with his remains if he didn't make it. He wanted his ashes to be spread in part on his family land. I asked him to get in touch with his people because it would be uncomfortable if I, a near stranger, showed up one day to tell everyone he had died and not have answers for anyone. But hey, let me spread his ashes, okay? So he did, and they patched up things as best they could. I got in touch with his people when it looked like he wasn't going to make it and said if they wanted to see him, he was willing, and now was the time. Everyone came down. I helped them as much as I could and felt everyone had done their best to patch up relations, or at least as much as you can. It was all hugs and love to him, thank yous to me for making it possible and caring for him, which sounds silly. He was my partner for over 10 years. His family and I had a conversation about his ashes. I offered to have them split in 2 boxes and give them one. Also, they're getting his Jeep and some other beloved items, art, family heirlooms, pictures, and my husband had put aside money for his 2 nephews for college. They're nowhere near going, but we opted out of kids and he held no animosity toward his sister. He wanted her kids to have a better shot than either of them had. We live a few states away, but their family business would easily move everything. That was really sweet and thoughtful. I have never had a harder time giving away money in my life. I've gotten a few texts, no calls, 1 post on socials with photos of him as a kid, and that's it. I message about once a month, politely asking how everyone is and gently trying to lead to when they're coming for his things. I'm getting anxious. His ashes are sitting there like a kid forgotten to get picked up after school. His Jeep sits in the driveway staring at me every time I come or go. I've packed boxes for them sitting next to the door and check ready. I'm leaving our house in December, and I know that seems a long way off, but I've decided to sell my business and place here. Time moves quickly and I've got a lot to do. I'm afraid I'll never hear from these people again. Would I be the a-hole if I just paid for everything to arrive on their front lawn? Or would I be the a-hole if I called and started yelling at everyone first? Also, would I be the a-hole if I said, fuck it, kept the money, passed out his possessions to people who actually cared and just forgot them? Thanks. Sorry that was long. Yikes. Okay, so we have options. Pay for everything to arrive on their front lawn. I would do that maybe, except for, no, I wouldn't do that. No, if you're going to spend the money on them, if you're going to spend some money, don't spend it on them, because you know what? You could just sell that Jeep yourself and make the money for it. You were married to him. No. Okay. That option's out. Next, would it be the a-hole if I called and started yelling at everyone first? You could definitely do that. Like, hello, he died. He wanted to reconnect with you. Y'all wanted all this shit. You wanted his ashes, this, that, and the other thing. And I haven't heard hide nor hair of y'all since then. So yeah, you can call and yell. Also, would it be the a-hole if I said, fuck it, kept the money, passed out his possessions? Yeah, you could donate his car to an organization. You could donate his Jeep to an organization that maybe like, you know, helps out homeless people or domestic violence victims or whatever. You could take that money and donate it or use it for yourself. You could do a lot of things if these people don't want to show up. So first I would call and yell. And if that didn't work, I'd say, fuck it. I'm not sitting here trying to donate to y'all anymore. And I would put your husband's second half of his ashes wherever the first half goes. And I'm sure he'll understand that you were not able to gain access to his family's land and therefore wasn't able to fulfill his last request. No fault of your own. Well, let's see what Reddit has to say. This says, I'm so sorry for your loss and the continued pain that his family keeps dragging you through. I suggest sending a registered letter offering them 1 month to claim his items if they want them. And if that month passes, then do whatever you like with them to best support yourself. Okay, so yell first, tell them this is happening, give them 1 month, and then tell them to fuck themselves. I like it. We have a plan in place. Yes, this is a good idea. You have proof you made the request and gave them ample time. As an aside, you might want to consult an estate attorney just to dot your I's and cross your T's. I'm so sorry for your loss. Why would an estate attorney be involved when she was his wife and he has no kids? Obviously, everything is hers. Anyway, I say you're not the a-hole. I gave my opinion as to what should be done, but I would like to hear what you all think about that one in the comments, and let's get on to the next story. This says, am I the a-hole for not returning a pet to their owner who lives 1,000 plus miles away? What is this, Homeward Bound? Leave it in the comments. If you remember Homeward Bound, it was Shadow, Spike. What was the cat's name? If anyone can remember the names, leave them in the comments. I would like to know. Anyway, I think this sounds very silly, but let's get right into the story. I went to a friend's for dinner and found a friendly cat outside his apartment. I decided if the cat was still there after dinner, I would take him home for a bit since I wanted to see what having a cat would be like. Strange that you'd find one off the street to do that with, but okay. After 2 hours, he was still there. I noticed he was neutered, so I took him to urgent care to see if he had a microchip. The cat is a 6-month-old male American short hair. They found a microchip, called the owners, and left my contact info via voicemail. They noticed the owner's address was in Virginia, and I'm in Arkansas, 1,000 plus miles away. That night, I bought some cat stuff and let him stay at my place. The next morning, the owner called me and told me, 1, the cat was stolen 2 months ago, along with all the cat stuff she'd had for him. Also, there's a cat burglar who steals cats out of people's houses and all their belongings. Ma'am, cats are a dime a dozen. You can't walk into a shelter without them shoving a cat in your hand to adopt. It's the expensive dog breeds that get stolen out of backyards, not some American short hair cat, but okay. 2, she lives in Virginia. Yes, we know this. 3, the crazy thing is, this is the 3rd time I lost a pet. The cat was the 3rd pet that got stolen from her. I got my first dog as an adult in 2010, and we have made it 14 years without a single kidnapping attempt. So it's so strange this woman has gone through this 3 freaking times. Plus says, I don't care how long it takes, I just want my cat back. How'd your cat get 1,000 miles away there, love? This isn't actually Homeward Bound. I don't believe cats routinely just take off on a major interstate and walk 1,000 miles away from home. But I could be wrong. I've never had a cat, so what do I know? I told her I'd figure something out. This is what our conversation was, word for word. Me, how do you want to get the cat back? Her, I have no idea. You're a 4-hour flight away. Me, if you fly over to XYZ airport, I can meet you at the airport and hand him over. I don't think I should be the one to fly over. Her, I don't have any money to fly anywhere. My cat was stolen and taken over state away. I don't know how I'ma be able to do that. I also don't know how this became my problem. Me, I'm willing to foster it until you have the funds to fly over. Her, I guess I'm never going to get my cat back. It's whatever. 2 days later, me, I'm going to take care of him until September 14th. If you still cannot afford to fly over, I'm going to leave him at a shelter and will send you their contact. I mean, that's a decent idea if you really don't want the cat, but cats don't do good in shelters, man. There's too many of them. Her, at this point, it's whatever. Y'all can have him. I don't have the money to just get on the plane, and it don't look like nobody's going to give me my cat back, so I'ma just let the police handle. End of convo. TLDR, I'm taking care of a lost cat, but the owner cannot afford to fly over. I don't think I should be going out of my way to return the cat. Her story seems suspicious to me. I would have to agree. How have you lost 3 animals? How did this one get 1,000 fucking miles away? Like, are cats really... I feel like cats are territorial type of animals and will like find like a 1 mile radius and kind of like, creep through it, maybe 2 miles. I don't know. But like, I don't feel like they just go on road trips like this for no reason. This is strange. This is weird. What do y'all think happened? How did this cat get from Virginia to Arkansas? I would like to know what you think about that one in the comments. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Not the a-hole. You are not obligated to cover travel to return a cat. If this person wants their cat back, they have to come get it or arrange for its transportation. You've done all that's required of you. Not even required. You went above and beyond. No one told you how to take the cat in. And for some people, the cost of doing something like that isn't worth getting their cat back. Clearly, they are telling you that you can just keep the cat if they're not getting it back or take it to a shelter. But if they do call the police, make sure you document your attempts to return the cat to the owner along with your bills for the vet visit to establish a timeline. OP responds, play devil's advocate with me. I did some research and found out that a round trip for the owner can be as low as $200, and I'm wondering how she's able to afford taking care of a kitten for 4 months plus 2 other pets if she can't afford a $200 flight. I mean, girl, $200 could be the difference between making rent and not making rent. So I'm not sure you're making the point you think you're making, but I still would like to know what you think in the comments. I still don't think they're the a-hole, but what do you think? And let's get on to the next story. This says, am I the a-hole for not using my inheritance from my parents for my husband's family? I wish my husband's family would say something like that. So this says, am I the a-hole for not wanting to use my inheritance to pay for building my husband's sister a home on our farm? My husband, 52, and myself, 50, have been married for 31 years. We purchased his parents' farm several years ago and paid for it with a mortgage. We have since paid that mortgage off. We also built our forever home on the farm, and it is also paid for, and we raise cattle on the farm. His family is always asking for help. His sisters specifically, and a couple of his nephews. For context, we took care of his father, mother, and Down syndrome sister when nobody else in the family would take care of them. We were the only ones of his siblings who still had young children at home, but felt that if we didn't take care of them, the state was going to step in and take them away. In my family, you take care of your family, so we took them in and never looked back. However, I think his family resented us for this and somehow feels like they are owed something. However, I think his family resented us for this and somehow feels like they are owed something because we own the family farm. And for some reason, my husband thinks he has to take care of his other sisters, even though there is nothing wrong with them except they have low IQ. Don't need a high IQ to work at Walmart, my friend. I have inherited a decent amount of money from my parents. My husband doesn't know the specifics and is upset that I won't disclose the amount. He doesn't have access to the account. He wants me to take some of the money and build a house on our farm, his family farm, for his sisters to live in so they won't have to pay rent anymore or live in apartments. He wants us to pay their property taxes and insurance because they won't be able to afford that, but they can pay their utilities. He doesn't want to charge them rent. Oh, okay, so he wants to baby these sisters like children and take care of them for the rest of their lives by using his wife's inheritance money. Okay, yeah, got it. Why should I use my inheritance that my parents worked their butts off to earn and pass on to me so that my husband's lazy sisters can sit in a brand new house on their family's farm and never have to pay property tax or insurance or rent? I feel like this is my money and I shouldn't have to spend it on his family. I want to put the majority of it in trust funds to our 2 children so I can pass it on to them. And to be honest, I am seriously thinking about just taking my inheritance and getting a divorce and living happily ever after. So am I the a-hole? I don't know about all this divorce stuff or how serious that is, but absolutely no, you do not need to use your personal money to take care of your husband's lazy ass sisters. I don't freaking think so. You don't want to do for yourself? You just expect everyone else to do for you? I don't think so. You're grown. Get up, get a job, get a grip while you're at it. I say not the a-hole, but let's see what Reddit has to say. OP says the money is sitting in an account in my name. He has no access to it and can't touch it. Since it is my inheritance, he has no legal right to it unless I put it in a joint account, which I will not do. I feel like we have just been giving and giving and giving to his family all these years and it's never enough. Commenter said, then you need to get the trust set up immediately because if something happens in the meantime, your husband might inherit depending on what is in your current will. The last comment said, this is the way, wrap it up tight for now for the kids and let the kids know it's for them. Even if you put that in the trust wording or something and it's not for spending on their aunts or uncles or cousins. Fair. You need to protect this money and protect your kids from these freeloading, entitled, psycho crazy people. I would like to know what you all think about that one in the comments. Don't forget, we have a playlist of over 375 MIV Who videos up there that you binge. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!